Shalom, friends. The Piaseczner Rebbe in Eish Kodesh for Parshat Noach, Tafshin Aleph in the fall of 1940, talks about the topic of being Am Kshei Oraf, that Am Yisrael is a stiff-necked people. Comes at it from different angles. It comes to Midrash, Gemaras, etc. And even though normally that's seen as a negative thing, he also brings proofs that that can be a positive thing, and he basically sees it as another example of what we call in Hasidut Midot Nifulot, fallen character traits that can be uplifted. In other words, it's not that being stubborn is intrinsically bad. Being stubborn is very often bad, but it can be useful. And he talks about the importance of it being useful in cases of oppression. That when Am Yisrael are oppressed, and again he's speaking in the Warsaw Ghetto, then those who are stubborn, who are stiff-necked, are more likely to remain steadfast in their loyalty to Judaism, to keeping the mitzvot, to being able to study Torah intensively and things of that matter. And he stresses that it's really important to basically refine the character trait of stubbornness and use it for the good, and how that has, again, helped Jews in times of persecution. So it just seems so clearly connected with what we're hearing from all the returning hostages who are in Gaza, who, under the most difficult, horrific, and long periods of persecution, some of them by themselves completely in the dark and whatnot, just one after another, stories of their spiritual heroism, of davening every day, of doing hitbodedut, speaking to HaShem every night before going to sleep, of trying to keep kosher, refusing to eat chametz on Pesach, not working on Shabbat, wanting to get a sidur in daven, or it's just one after another are the most inspiring things of all. It kind of reminds me, actually, now that I think about it, when I had the huge merit of being a shaliach of Medinat Yisrael to the Soviet Union in the mid-1980s, and met with refusnikim and people who were teaching Torah and Hebrew underground on a really big scale, especially in Moscow, but in other places as well, that I was in Leningrad and Riga. That I remember coming back to Israel and saying to people, if you want to see real Yiddishkeit, go to the Soviet Union. See Yiddishkeit with Mesirut Nefesh, that people are under the worst circumstances of oppression and deprivation, spiritually being able to do such amazing things because they're really stubborn about it. And so that's, one of the messages of Parshat Noach. The Rebbe connects it with the difference between Avram Avinu and Noach, that Avram Avinu was more stubborn in that positive sense. So as we continue to hear these inspiring stories of spiritual stubbornness and Mesirut Nefesh on the part of returning hostages, Baruch Hashem, they're all here. It's unbelievable. It's a Hayinu Kecholmim moment that we're, as dreamers, let us going into this new year also say, okay, a lot of times it's easy to be a little bit lazy, to give in, to not follow through. I don't have koach, nishkain koach. I don't have any energy, but we can, and we are living in relatively good conditions and helpful conditions, and we have, all the resources at our hands, at our fingertips. So let's use them wisely. Let's be stubborn for the right things, not stubborn for the wrong things, but stubborn for the right things in terms of serving HaShem and helping Am Yisrael, learning Torah. And let us continue to have good tidings and shalom and achdut Am Yisrael, togetherness, and help to bring the Geulah. Should have a good winter, healthy winter, rainy winter with Gishmei Bracha, with good blessing rains, and all good things for Am Yisrael and for the world. Kol Tuv, Shabbat Shalom.